Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this session. In this session, we will talk about conditionals and program control in MATLAB programming. Because we assume you already have programming experience, but have not used MATLAB before, so we will go through this briefly. So first, let's see the conditional execution. This means if statements. So if statements allows conditions that if the condition is met or the condition is true, we will execute the specific lines of the code following it. So in MATLAB, we write it like this. If followed by the condition, then the functions in the if body, then we put an AND here. So if AND, no curly brackets, and this indent will automatically be done. When we see condition, there will be a variable to show is true or false. So any numerical data, we can evaluate it as true or false. In MATLAB, like many other programming language, only 0 is considered as false, while all the others are true. So if it's a negative number, it's also true, right? Like many programming languages. So now let's see an example. After running this code, what will the value of A be? So we first see A is true. We say A is true. So this true means that if you look at the workspace, you will find a logical variable A appears, and the value is 1. So it's true. Then we will say if A. So this means if A is true or false, here is true, right? Then the executing the code of A equals to false. Now in the workspace, you will find a logical variable A becomes false, and it becomes 0. Then we say if A. So if A's value is already false, right? So because this is not true, so this line will never be executed. So the value of A stays to be false. Right? So this is the example. Normally after if there are inline condition evaluation, and we use this symbol as other languages, so 2 equal signs to judge if the expression is true or false. For example, if 10 is a value of 10, we judge this is true or false, and this is always true, right? So we execute some functions. But normally we will compare variables to evaluate the conditions. So for example, if A, the value of A is the value of B, to judge it, if it's true, then we execute some functions. So this will execute only if A is equals to B, right? So besides if, we also have the else if statement in MATLAB. So else if means if the first condition following if is false, then we will see if the else if condition is true or not. So for example, in this code, the first we have an if A is the same as B, we execute some functions. Else if we judge if A is the same as C, right? So this one will only be evaluated when A is not equals to B. So if A is equals to B, then we execute here, then the if is out, right? So let's see an example. A has been assigned a value of 5, then we will judge if A's value is 7. No, it's not, right? So this won't be executed, then this is false. Then we will come here to see that if A is 5, yes, A is 5, then so this will be executed, A is 5, right? So this is else if statement. Not only else if, we also have the else. So else if means the if, else if all the previous ones are not true, then we will see if else is true. Then if all the things are not true, we will execute the things after the else, right? So we can see that for this example, if A equals to B, some function, else if A is equals to C, some function, else. So this else means A's value is neither B or C, then we execute this one, right? So in the if, else, if, and else statements, you can use while if and as many else if that you want, and eventually you have a while else statement. Normally, for the condition, there's not only one condition, and could be several of them. So MATLAB also uses the AND and OR logic to combine them. In MATLAB, when we say the AND statement, so at the AND logic, so what we use is ampersand, this symbol. We only use one of them in MATLAB. Otherwise, so if we want to see the OR, it means at least one of the expression is true, then we will execute the code. So we use a vertical bar and only one vertical bar. So this AND and OR logic is the same as every language. So we can see some function. If A is the same as B and C is the same as D, so both of them are true, then we use an ampersand to connect them. So it means both of them are true. We execute this. So if we want to either of them is true, we use a vertical bar. So we can see the either is true, we will execute this, right? Okay, so now we can see an example. The question is that which of the following functions will be executed by this code? So function 1, 2, or 3. Let's see. A equals to 10, B equals to 7, C equals to 20. Right, so this is a first statement. But we will see this one we use AND to link them. Is A the same as B plus 3? Yes, this is true. And is C the same as A? This is not true, right? So this if won't be executed. So function 1 won't be executed, right? Then we go to if this is false, we go to else if. If A equals to B or C is the same as A plus 10, then we can say A is not the same as B, so this is false, but this is true, right? So 10 plus 10 is the same as C, so this is true, and we use the vertical bar, or it means as long as one of them is true, we will execute this. So function 2, it executes. Then it will not go to else, so function 3 will not be executed. So the function 2 will be executed, right? So that's all for this section. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.